Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, I am going to explain a chapter from Keyboard, Book 6, and the name of the chapter is the Computer System. As the name explains itself, that computers are available in different sizes and types. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the different types of computer and how computers are helpful to us. The computers are divided into different classification. Some of us are very common and some of them are not so common. There are so many input and output devices of a computer, such as barcode readers, magnetic ink character readers, braille printer, and so on. So let us discuss initially about the classification of computer by their size. If we discuss about the size of a computer, we can classify these types of computer into 5 groups: mobile computers, mini computers, microcomputers, mainframe computers, and supercomputers. So let us discuss about mobile computers. Mobile computers are the smallest type of computers and are designed to be carried around by the users. It is so handy that we can put it inside our pockets also. Laptops, ultrabooks, notebooks, tablets, e-book readers, smartphone, personal data assistant, or you can say PDAs, and portable media player, or you can say PMPs, are the example of mobile computers, because we can easily take it away from one place to another. Now let us discuss about laptops. These are also a kind of mobile computer, and laptops are the portable version of desktop PCs or personal computers. Notebooks are much smaller than laptops and usually do not have DVD drives. Both laptops and notebooks are capable of running the same software. However, notebooks primarily focus on internet access. Ultrabook is another category of laptops, and it is similar, and the weight of an ultrabook is very lighter, but they build to offer some performance as laptops. On the other hand, we have tablets that we use as mobile computers, and the tablets are very easy to identify because they have no keyboards and no mouse, and they are operated via touch screen. E-book readers are used to read books, newspapers, and magazines. Kindle is an example of e-book reader. Smartphones are phones with wireless internet connectivity. A PDA, or you can say personal digital assistant, is also known as palm top computer because it is approximately the size of our palm. These handheld devices can function as a cell phone, as a fax sender, as a personal organizer, and they have the ability to connect to the internet. A portable media player is also an example of a mobile computer, and it is an electronic device that can store audios, save images and videos, and they can also play audios. A microcomputer is a small computer that is used by a single person at a time. And our desktop computer or our PCs are the most common example of a microcomputer. We use PCs in our school, colleges, office, home. These are all microcomputers which we use in these places. Desktop computer, as I've already told you, are also known as microcomputers. Now let us discuss about the mini computers. Mini computers are a bit larger than the microcomputers because it is generally as the same size as a refrigerator is. Mini computer was firstly discovered or appeared in 1960s, and in 1980s they got replaced by microcomputers because of their size. Microcomputers are much faster than mini computers comparatively. The initial examples of a mini computer are CDC 160 60A, Microvax 3100, HP 2100. These are some mini computers that were used at that time. Now there is another type of computer that are known as mainframe computer. Basically, the mainframe computers are very bulky computers. They are very bigger in size and they are very expensive also. And they are used to process a larger amount of data. While using a mainframe computer, we have so many microcomputers attached to mainframe computers also, and there is a server working with inside these mainframes computer, and the larger organizations such as the airline companies, such as government officers, the companies which have to access a lot of data are using mainframe computers. Some of the examples are IBM 4381, DEC10, NEC 610. These are the example of mainframe computers. Now let us discuss about supercomputers. Supercomputers are the most powerful type of computers till date, and if we discuss about the size, they occupy the whole room because they are so bulky and so large in size. Similarly, if they are so larger in size and they are so powerful, they process a tremendous amount of data in a smaller time. The example of a supercomputer are IBM's CQA and Fujitsu K computer. These are the example of a supercomputer, and these supercomputers are usually used by the government organization and some of the biggest companies of the world like Microsoft and Google use these supercomputers. As we have already discussed about the size of a computer and the classification of the computer and the amount of data they are processing, but a computer, whatever the size of a computer always works on two systems. There are two main components of a computer, that is hardware and software. We have already discussed about the hardware and software in our previous classes, but in this chapter I am going to give you a brief description of what hardware and software is. As we have already know that the part of a computer that we can touch are known as hardware of a computer. The input and output devices, the storage devices and the central processing unit are all the example of hardware. Now, as we have already discussed about the input devices in our previous classes, but today I am going to give you some brief idea of what input devices are. Input devices are those devices through which we give some instructions to the computer and then computer processes it. They accept the instruction given by the computer. The input devices accept the instruction given by the human being or the user and convert them into the form that a computer can understand. There are so many input devices, just like for example in the supermarkets there is a person who is making our bill and he is using a barcode reader. That barcode reader is also an example of an input device. Just like that, we have magnetic ink character readers, optical character readers and card readers. These are all the example of input devices. Now, as I have already explained you what a barcode reader is, there is a barcode on each product. When we go to a supermarket, we can see that there is a barcode on each product, and what a cashier do is they just put the machine on that barcode, and the machine automatically read that barcode and transfers the data to the computer, and then the computer processes it. What a magnetic ink character reader is. A magnetic ink character reader, a magnetic ink is a special ink that contains magnetic part of iron oxide. And they can, a card reader, a magnetic ink card reader can scan these characters printed by the magnetic ink, and this technique is called magnetic ink character recognition, or you can say MICR. Now MICR is very extensively used in banks because magnetic ink characters are very difficult to read and very difficult to forge also. Nobody can make changes in this magnetic ink characters, so that is the reason they are easily so that they can easily be used in the banks, so that nobody can forge it, and the security is very strong by using these MICR. We have MICR in our checks also. The checkbook we are using, at the back of this checkbook or at the front side, at the upper corner of the checkbook has these MICR codes, and we can easily access the data from these MICR codes. On the other hand, we have a card reader used as an input device. We often seen that while paying bills we use some cards that is known as Visa card or debit card or MasterCard. So there are some card readers in which the cashier put the card inside these card readers, and the card takes in the data from our card, and then the computer processes it. These card readers are used for reading information stored on our cards, and our cards has a magnetic strip behind it, and all our information is stored in that magnetic strip. Same goes with gift card. There are certain types of gift card provided by some companies, and these cards uses the same technology. When the card is swiped through a magnetic card reader, it reads the information quickly and accurately, and exposure to magnetic field, physical damage and contact with certain liquids can destroy the information of the card. The smart card look like a magnetic strip card but contain a small chip instead of magnetic strip. Like inside this magnetic strip there is a small magnetic chip. Most of the credit and debit card issued by bank nowadays have both chip and a magnetic strip. They have both the chip and the magnetic strip. So what we can do, that we can tap our magnetic card also, or we can swap our magnetic card also. They store more data than magnetic strip cards, because the chip can store more data than the magnetic strip card. There are so many companies that keep the track of or maintain the track record of their customers with the help of these magnetic cards. Similarly, the satellite television companies use these type of card to receive and store the code to decode their satellite signals and display pictures. Now quickly jump towards the output devices. What output devices are? Output devices contain information from the computer to the user. As we have already discussed that from output devices we get the output after processing. There are some example of output devices that is known as liquid crystal display projector, or you can say LCD projector. LCD projector shows the output from a computer on a larger screen, and it is commonly used for displaying presentations during meetings and conferences. We also use these projectors in our schools for the computer project and for explaining certain softwares in our schools also. Now the next is a braille printer. Before explaining a braille printer, let me tell you what a braille is. Braille is particularly a language used by the people who cannot see, who are blind. So that basically ये ऐसे words होते हैं जो पेपर पे उभरे हुए होते हैं और इनको छू कर पढ़ा जा सकता है. तो जो लोग देख नहीं सकते वो इस ब्रेल प्रिंटिंग को छू कर और फिर पढ़ते हैं. क्योंकि उनको नज़र नहीं आते वर्ड्स, तो वो फील करते हैं और फिर उन वर्ड्स को पढ़ सकते हैं। तो ब्रेल प्रिंटर क्या करता है कि ब्रेल प्रिंटर जो है वो इस तरह की, उसके अंदर इस तरह की टेक्निक यूज़ की जाती है कि वो सर्टेन डॉट्स प्रोड्यूस कर देता है और उन डॉट्स को छूकर और फिर या फील करके जो भी ऐसे लोग होते हैं जिनको नज़र नहीं आता, जो ब्लाइंड पीपल होते हैं, वो पढ़ सकते हैं। Now the other one is plotter. As we have already know what a printer is, but on a printer we can use a certain size of a paper. But in plotter, we use very large size of papers for printing, and they are used for creating high quality graphics and tables and diagrams. They use ink pens or inkjets to create graphics on paper or maybe on polyester film. एक polyester की एक फिल्म होती है, जैसे कि हम पेनाफ्लेक्सेस देखते हैं, पेनाफ्लेक्सेस भी प्लॉटर पे ही प्रिंट होते हैं। Now there are some commonly used printer which are used for plotters, that is CAD and CAM. That is computer aided design and computer aided manufacturing for printing plans for house, car parts, machinery. तो ये CAD और CAM, जैसे AutoCAD भी एक सॉफ्टवेयर है, तो there are some specified softwares for these types of printer. कि अगर बहुत बड़ी प्रिंटिंग है, किसी हाउस का प्लान है या फिर कार की मशीनरी डिज़ाइन करनी है या कार के पार्ट्स डिज़ाइन करने हैं, बहुत बड़ी मशीनरी डिज़ाइन करनी है, तो ये स्पेशलाइज सॉफ्टवेयर दैट इज़ नोन एज CAD या फिर CAM यूज़ करके और फिर प्लॉटर को इंस्ट्रक्शंस दी जाती हैं। प्लॉटर्स आर ऑफ 4 टाइप्स, दैट इज़ ड्रम प्लॉटर, माइक्रोग्राफिक प्लॉटर, इंकजेट प्लॉटर एंड फ्लैटबेड प्लॉटर।